Hello and welcome to Edu Aspirants, our YouTube channel for competitive exams. In the series of videos on general science, we are uploading video on biology and the first video is on cell. Before we get into this, please continue to support us by hitting the red subscribe button and the bell icon to get the latest notifications. Let us begin. Cell, the fundamental unit of life. We have divided the topic into three parts. Part 1 is all about the history of cell and major discoveries of cell and its parts. Part 2 contains information about the cell types and characteristics. Part 3 is about cell organelles, their structure and functions. All living organisms are made up of small tiny units called cell. Cell is the smallest unit that is capable of performing all essential life functions. That is why it is called fundamental unit of life. Cell is a Latin word which means a little room or compartment. As a home is made up of bricks, an organism is made up of cell. Here, we want to introduce a popular term that is cytology. The branch of biology concerned with the structure and function of cell is called cytology. After the introduction part, let us go back in time to know more about the history of cell. The word cell was first used by Robert Hooke in 1665. He observed cell in a cord slice with the help of a primitive microscope. The structure he saw looked like a honeycomb as it was made up of many tiny units. Robert Hooke coined the term cell. He is also known as father of cytology. He was the first person to introduce cell, but the cell discovered were dead cells, as cork is made up of dead cells only. Anton van Leeuwenhoek in 1674 with the improved microscope discovered the first free living cells in pond water. He used a simple handheld microscope to view unicellular organisms. Leeuwenhoek is also known as father of microbiology. He was the first person to observe living cells under the improved microscope. Robert Brown in 1831 discovered the nucleus in the cell. Brown found that the cells contained an opaque spot. He used the term areola to describe them. All the activities of the cell is controlled by nucleus. Hence, it is also known as brain of the cell. Purkinje in 1839 coined the term protoplasm for the fluid substance of the cell. Protoplasm comprises the living part of a cell, including the cytoplasm, nucleus and other organelles. At the beginning of the 19th century, several discoveries were made. These finally led the German botanist Matthias Schleiden and German zoologist Theodor Schwann to establish the cell theory. Schleiden observed large variety of plant tissues and found all of them were composed of cells. He concluded that the cells are the ultimate and basic units that form the structure of the plant tissues. Schwann at the same time critically examined many types of animal tissues. He was able to see the nuclei but not the cell wall because animal cell lack cell wall. Later on, the cell theory was expanded by Rudolf Virchow in 1855 which makes this theory called modern cell theory with the 3 points. The first one is all organisms are composed of one or more cells. The cell is the basic unit of life in all the living things. All cells are produced by the division of pre-existing cells. Exceptions to cell theory. There are many cells which do not have nucleus. Example, bacteria. Viruses do not have cell structure, in spite of which it can show some living properties. Also, RBCs, that is, red blood cells of mammals, sieve tube cells of plants, do not have any nucleus. Many fungi and algae have cells that contain many nuclei. With the discovery of electron microscope in 1940, it was possible to observe and understand the complex structure of the cell and its organelles. In the second video of the 3-video series on cells, we will take up the other interesting features of cells, their characteristics and types. Till then, stay tuned and keep revising.